And so today I wanted to talk about, because I did talk about my mother-in-law from hell, and I kind of touched on a couple of things, but this time I wanted to write down everything because I wanted to make sure that I was telling you in complete detail what was going on. I mean, there is so much. I think that I did hit on like the stalking part and the harassing part and the jealousy and the, making my plate thing. And so there was this one time we got in a car accident. Our car got wrecked, and it was the worst thing in our lives because we were living an independent, life. We were on the other side of town, far away from her. This is when we had first moved out, and we were living an independent life on the other side of town. We got in a car wreck. We were having a good time that day. It was a wonderful day when we got in a car wreck, and next thing you know, our world got flipped upside down. So, his mom comes and she's like, okay, well, now you're going to stay with me. Now I'm going to take care of y'all, and, that's not what we wanted at all. They had full coverage. So, automatically we would get cash back, for the vehicle, I knew about it. And so what happened was, so she took the cash. She would not let us cash it because it was in both their names. So she also had to sign off on it, I believe. It was something. Like, I think that they both have to sign off. It was something. So she would not sign off on us to get a car. I mean, we had it hard. I mean, when she did sign off, they gave her a check back. We never saw the money, ever. She kept the money. And I told Derek, I said, you need to ask for that money because, that was your car. And we need the money so that we can get a new car. We can get a cash car. We can get something, So this woman goes and spends up all the money. And then she tells us, she's like, oh, y'all spent all the money. I mean, I got y'all like a rental for 2 days and we ain't spent all that money. I'm not stupid. We got at least what? It was $2,500 because he had like a surround sound system. He had a stereo. He had speakers. He had everything in that car. That car was decked out because his mama did the shit. I mean, everything was up to date on that car. I mean, it was an older car, but everything was up to date. So he got like, he would have gotten maybe 1,500, but he ended up getting 2,500. And, we never saw that money. She took that money. We didn't see it. I'm sorry if this is shaking a lot. We didn't see the money. I mean, it wasn't cool at all, And she goes, well, now you just have to move in with me because, y'all don't have a car and, there's nothing I can do. This woman, instead of just giving us the money so we can get a car, we stayed an hour away. So she used to have to drive an hour away to pick up Derek, take him an hour away back. I mean, and then pick him up from work and then take him an hour back. And then every time we needed her for something, food, groceries, whatever, she would come and get it. Why? Because she wanted that type of control on us. I mean, it was not, to me, I would be like, why are you hindering your son and his efforts? We don't have a lot of money. There wasn't really very much that we could do in that situation, so we ended up being completely reliant on her for transportation. And that's what she wanted, So let's see. I don't know if I explained to you how in-depth it was about her making my plate separate. At first, I didn't think anything of it, because we didn't really have an issue. But I do remember that a couple of times I got so sick. I couldn't get out of the bed. I would be like in bed. I remember my stomach was killing me. And it was like, I felt like it's like I wanted to throw up, but I couldn't throw up. I mean, it was like I had to use a restroom. Nothing. I mean, it was like, and this happened a couple times over there, and so I was like, what the fuck is she doing? I mean, at first, I didn't think nothing of it. I wasn't accusing her of anything. I didn't think that she did anything to my food. But, the more that I realized that this woman had more hate for me than love, that's when I realized, okay, like something's not right. I would go to the doctor and I would feel like crap. Like, I'm telling you, like, I don't even know how to describe the feeling that I had when I ate this lady's food. And this was before, I decided to not accept the plates. I was accepting the plates at first because we were all good, And I would feel so sick. I would go to the doctor and I'd be like, you guys, like, something's wrong. I don't feel good. Like, help me. The doctors will look at me crazy and be like, you're fine. We did all types of tests and you're fine. But see, one thing you need to know is when you are being poisoned or whatever the fuck's going on, I feel like if you go to the doctor, you have to kind of know somewhat that you're being poisoned, because they're not going to look for poisoning because, well, I think it's a rare occurrence. But at this point, I do feel like I felt 10 times better than I've ever felt when I was over there. And I'm not eating her food no more. But I'm telling you, I felt so horrible. I can't even describe how bad I felt. I did not feel good at all. So that was something that, was not cool. I feel like the lady was doing something. Eventually, when she started having issues with me, that's when I decided not to accept the food. I just wouldn't take it. I would just throw it away or something. But let's see. Oh, she would go behind my back a lot. She would go behind my back and tell her son, like, she'd be all in my face, like, oh, Shay, you're such a good woman, and, he needs somebody like you, and it's going to keep him, doing better for himself. And then she would go back and tell her son, like, yeah, I saw Shay texting on her phone or whatever, and, she was like, holding the phone away from, and I was like, what? I don't remember doing those things. But I'm like, if she's seen anything like that, I wasn't cheating on him. So it's kind of like, if she's seen anything like that, then obviously, she was looking real hard, because I didn't even think I was doing anything like that. So she was like, no. Or she'll be like, oh, yeah, Shay takes forever to get back home, Derek. She must be hooking up with somebody else. She must be, trying to be with somebody else. She must have another boyfriend. She's always gone for hours. And the reason why, because when I did stay there, I remember that I didn't want to come straight home to his mom and his dad. When he was at work, I would try to go hang out with other friends, or, go shopping, or just do something to where I didn't have to be there. To be an awkward situation for me and them. What else happened, you guys? I wrote so much stuff down here. Oh, yeah, that happened. So one time I was a dog sitter. We had our own house at this time. And we were over there one day, and I'm telling you, she wanted me and Felicity to go to the house by ourselves. You know, and this has happened multiple times. With that house, she wanted me and Fifi to go there by ourselves and stay there by ourselves. And she was like telling her son to stay there with her. She got a big attitude. Wanting to fight me and stuff, because her son wanted to come with his family. Eventually her efforts did work, because I remember when we ended up losing that house and going to stay in the ghetto, I was left at the house by myself. Like, Derek completely just abandoned me, and I was at the house by myself, and there was nothing that I can possibly do about it, because it was like, he did the shit already. What could I do? She was always manipulating him, thinking that I was the problem. Like, she was always telling him that, I was like trying to manipulate him and make him do what I wanted him to do, which was not true. I'm your wife, and I think that you need to be home with your wife. We can go visit your mom, which is what I told him, but we're not gonna be living with your mom. I want my own identity. I want my own stuff. I want my own, I'm my own person. I want to do my own things in my own house. And I remember I told her that she kicked me, out the house, because, I obviously, wasn't complying with her needs and wishes, which was, she wanted me to convince her son to do things that, she would go behind her son's back and talk to me about it. Like, oh, he's so this, that, and the other. He's not, he's so immature. He's not good money management. He does that drug stuff. He's just not, to par. And then she would go back and tell him that I said those things, and she clearly said those things about him. So she was always like she was talking shit about him, and then trying to twist it on me, like I did something, and I didn't. Let's see. She used to always tell me things like, oh, stuff isn't promised forever. You're y'all might not stay together forever. You know, you never know. Just because you have a baby, you can't go around having babies just so you can stay with people. And, you know, I mean, if you've seen my husband, then you clearly know that there's no way that, you know, it was because I just needed to be with him. I mean, anyways, I'm not going to get into that because it's fucked up, you know, what I was about to say. But whatever. So she was just kind of like, oh, yeah, you know, y'all ain't going to be together forever. Y'all ain't going to make it work. It ain't going to happen. I told you, the constant staring me down, the constant popping up everywhere. Oh, we were supposed to get a house one time, you know, and we needed a co-signer, you know. She just said, hey, I'll co-sign, you know. I'm super thinking, okay, well, what's the harm in her co-signing, you know? So she said she'll co-sign, and, you know, we did all the paperwork and stuff. So this lady, you know, everything was on her. After that, I mean, it was like, it was all on her. It was up to her to finish up the paperwork. The lady didn't do it. She was lying to us, telling us, oh, the people didn't call back. The business ain't call me back. They ain't, you know, try to get nothing done. It was all her, you know, lying, trying to make it seem like a company, an established company, wasn't working with us, when really it was her who, you know, was trying to hinder us and make us think that she was trying to, you know, co-sign this house for us because she, just to get us back into her house. I mean, everything that she did was to get us back into her house. She would ask her son for large amounts of money and be like, oh, I need this much money, because he started making good money in the end. But she would ask him for like his whole check, saying that she just really, really needed it. She really, really needed help. And then he would give it to her and then put us back in a financial bind just so that she can get us where she wanted us to be, which I did not think was cool. I think that she was completely insane. And one thing I do have to say about her, she did say that my daughter was going to pay for Derek's sins, whatever the hell that means. And I felt some type of way about it. I was like, what do you mean she's going to pay for Derek's sins? Oh, well, you know, we just ain't going such. Okay, the way that she said that did not sound cool at all. But then, like I said, my daughter ended up getting molested by her grandpa, and my daughter did say that her granny was there. So, I mean, if that's what she meant by the whole thing, I mean, fuck her. And I want to tell her one more thing. I want to let her know that you are pathetic. You are pathetic. If you have not enough confidence in yourself that you feel like you have to rely on your son to make you happy, then you're pathetic. If you feel like you have to destroy your son's life and take everything that he has earned, then you're pathetic. If you feel like you need that much control that you're willing to hurt people and put people in harm's way, you are insane. She put my child on life insurance without telling me. You know, I didn't find out till I saw the mail, and I thought that was a little fucked up. I was like, hey, I probably would have just let you do it. But I mean, the fact that you went behind my back and did it, that made me feel some type of way. Because why would you do that? You know, you have life insurance on me, my daughter. I mean, it doesn't make any sense as to why you would do that without even asking me. You know, this lady was insane. And all I have to say is, like, you're pathetic. You're a waste of space. If you feel like you have to destroy people to get what you want, you feel like you have to destroy marriages. And I do feel like she is the reason we're not together today. Because like I said, he decided to run the streets, go do the drug thing. His mom was letting him do everything that she was going behind my back saying that he shouldn't be doing. And then she kept on convincing him that he didn't have to be with me to be with me. He didn't have to be there with the kid to be a father, which is true. But it was like she was trying to manipulate the situation so that he could end up with her. And in the end, he ended up at her house. In the end, she had all the control. She manipulated him to the core. And he completely felt like I was the victim. And in the end, I was the one who helped you get a job. Your mama didn't want you to get a job. I helped you get a place. Your mama didn't want you to get a place. I helped you learn how to do all these things. And you should have already known what to do as a man. A woman shouldn't have to step in and tell you and teach you everything. That's the father's job. His father and his mother should have been on point telling him what to do. And I mean, I just had such an issue with that. She was always looking at her son as if that was like her man or something. She was always kissing him in his face and stuff and getting jealous she thought he looked at somebody. I almost felt like they had a really awkward relationship. I saw him tapping her ass sometimes, squeezing her breast sometimes. I thought, like, And I asked him about it, and he was just kind of like, what are you talking about? But I clearly seen it. And like I said, I mean, she's just controlling. I mean, it's pathetic to me. It's pathetic how these women get so wrapped up in their sons, feeling that their sons is their husband. Your son is not your husband. Your job is to raise him into a good man for somebody else, not for yourself. And I mean, this is just sick. It's sick all the way around. It's sick how she made me feel. It's sick how she treated her son, and treated her husband. She treated her husband as if her husband was her son, and her son as if he was her husband. It was like, what is the deal here? Like, what is the issue? In the end, I just feel like these women are completely insane. Just because you have a son does not mean that that's your husband. Does not mean that just because you turn him into the man that you want him to be, that that's who you need to deal with. I mean, it's like, are you really like that insecure? Like, you're really that insecure and that spoiled and that childish that you're willing to hurt other people along the way? This woman, I feel like, tried to hurt me. I feel like if I would have stayed there longer, I probably would have been dead. You never know. I mean, I'm sitting here eating her food. My daughter's there. My daughter gets molested in her care. I mean, this woman is sick as hell. I feel like the woman let my daughter get molested in front of her because she was like, man, fuck Shantor. I never liked that bitch anyways, and this is her seed. Anyways, y'all women are ridiculous. I mean, I'm so sorry to say, but if you feel like your son is more to you than just a son, then you're sick as fuck and you need help. You need mental help. You need to call somebody and get the help that you need, because that's what you need. You don't need to be, dictating people's lives and hurting people along the way. And I mean, I feel like the lady might have tried to kill me because she did have life insurance on me and stuff. And people are just so fucked up in the head. You don't know what she was doing. Why was I always sick? Why was I always feeling that way? Why was my daughter molested in her care? That's the biggest question right here. Anyways, I don't know. I don't even think I even touched on everything. I have so much more stuff to talk about, but it's kind of like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I talked about it all, but I know I don't have a lot of, storage space on this phone. And, I just wanted to just talk about it a little bit and just add some stuff to it. But hey, I mean, in the end, it's all the same. Like, it's all just fucked up and crazy. And I'm so sorry that you people have to go through it. The women that do have to go through it, I'm so sorry they have to go through it. It's fucked up. It's not right at all. And what I would say is, a person can only do what you allow them to do. I say, if you feel that drains out of your marriage based off of someone's mom, I say either tell that person, let's move away, let's get ourselves together and do just us, or I say leave the marriage completely, because that's what my ass did, because I wasn't dealing with it anymore. There's so much more, to the story, but in the end, when he left me, he decided to come back and things like that. I mean, it was like, hell no, you have a crazy ass mama. And that was really the reason. I mean, it was like, I was over at that point.